Can you all please start streaming? Assalamu alaikum, Mr. Umair. Just want to welcome you. Thank you very much. You have taken time. And we really appreciate that, despite of the time difference and everything between Chicago and Pakistan, we are really excited to have you. And thank you very much to be here. And that too before time.
Assalamu alaikum, Mr. Umair. कैसे हैं sir?
Yeah, you're more than welcome. Assalamu alaikum. Sufyan Sahab, how are you? Can you guys hear me properly?
Yeah, perfectly fine. We'll be starting.
Very good. I guess. Sure. As long as I'm not starting the initial conversation, I am absolutely fine with this. Yeah.
Okay.
No, we are going to invite you formally. You are our guest today.
Okay. Thank you. I'm so used to just starting all these presentations for our own programs that I'm looking forward to not being the first one to say anything.
It's always the pressure.
Yeah.
Yasmin, you have to start.
Sufyan Sahab, are these students just from your branch, or is it from all over?
It's from all over Beacon House.
Okay, and are they all A levels or?
They are from A levels. They are from O3 as well.
Okay, great. All right, good to know. ठीक है.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Maham Siddiqui, and I'm the career advisor from the Gulshan campus. And today with me, I have my peers Yasmin and Sufyan, who are the career advisors of PCHS and Kasabad campus, respectively. So today, we are going to talk about the most important thing, which is time management. We cannot stress the importance enough of how time is important. So since our childhood, we've been hearing that, time is money. For all of us, it is now a very cliched statement because we are surrounded with currencies like dollars, pounds sterling, and for now, even cryptocurrency. So how is time a currency for all of us? The understanding is still missing for all of us. So when we say that time is money, we mean that time is one currency that is divided among people equally, whether it's rich, poor, female, male, whatever age they have. Every one of us has 24 hours in a day, and that is how this currency is distributed. This currency we cannot create, neither we can destroy time. Every minute that we have spent is irreversible. We cannot ever unspend that minute. So today we are going to discuss what time management is, and then what are the relevant skills required to manage time along with the respective tools. So what time management essentially is, it is the organization of our time in a manner that helps us meet the most important goals of our life. You know, as humans, we always find reasons for not doing something on time. And then there's so many myths related to time. Let's burst some of them today. So one of the beliefs that we have is, you know, I work better under time pressure. Now let's say that I had to present a presentation at 12 p.m. today, right? And I exactly send it at 12 p.m. And then, you know, I just sit back and I take, oh yeah, I really work better under time pressure. But you know, that's not true, because that creates more and more pressure. And if I face any unexpected event, like you say, maybe an electricity breakdown, an internet failure, or maybe my laptop crashing, then what is really going to happen? It's going to add to my stress. So rather than just relying on an external pressure, on external timeline, we should have internal deadlines as well for ourselves. And you know, then there is another myth. What happens is, let's say I just gave an example that at 12 p.m. I had to submit a presentation, and now it's 12:05 and I'm still stuck with that. Then we are demotivated. We collapse and we tell ourselves, oh my God, we don't have control of our lives. And that's natural. You cannot control everything that is going around you. You cannot control all the elements and all the aspects of your life. So, you know, you need to know what you can control and what you cannot control, so that you can take respective actions during those circumstances. Moving on, we always tell ourselves some things. One of those is, oh, I should not say no. Whatever, wherever, whenever somebody asks me to do anything, I should not be the one saying no. Well, that's not true. You need to learn to say no, because when you focus too much on others' needs, you forget your capabilities. You need to know what is important for you so that you can focus on that. Okay. Lastly, what we tell ourselves always before doing a task, or you know, whenever we are assigned with the task and we're under pressure, we tell ourselves, oh my God, I need to do this thing perfectly. This should be perfect. But your perfect can be very different from mine, and vice versa. So you know what perfect exactly means? The first step to know what, you know, to tell yourself that you want to do something perfectly is to realize your strengths and weaknesses. You need to focus on your strengths and, you know, work on your weaknesses, so that whenever you're working, you utilize your potential to the fullest. And then you can just tell yourselves, yes, I did everything perfectly, because now I realize what my weakness is, what I can potentially do, and what I cannot. So, you know, all of these things, when you have to manage time, you have to meet deadlines, you tell yourself a million things, and then there are a lot of things that you cannot control, the students face a dilemma. So the dilemma that the student faces, you know, how to balance my studies and curricular? What should I do to achieve my goals? And what about the uncertainties that are just there? Look at the situation, COVID. So, you know, we don't know whether the classes will be online, whether we'll be physically taking the classes, or maybe a hybrid model. How do I stay motivated? How do I find positivity in such an uncertain situation? And what if I'm not able to manage time and then eventually anything in my life? And what are the things? Maybe will I be ever able to ace my goals? Will I ever be able to become what I aspire? So, you know, the student is always surrounded with a lot of dilemmas. And to address this, I would like to introduce the first panelist for today, who is Sir Bilal Kurd. Sir Bilal Kurd is a very renowned business studies teacher and a motivational speaker. So let's welcome Sir Bilal. Over to you.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. Thank you so much, Maham, for the nice introduction. And I think everyone, the very importance of time management has been very appropriately put by Maham herself. and I would definitely agree to each and every word that she has said. My basic concern when I am educating my students about time management is exactly what has been stressed upon, and that is to manage. That is to manage time. Whenever we talk about time management, we think about scheduling, our life. We talk about bringing order, streamlining. But then again, when we try to establish a proper timetable, we try to establish and we try to make sure that we work towards time management, we have to battle with an inner demon that is known as procrastination. And it's just not limited to you guys. It's like it's something that all of us face, and I'm pretty sure that each and every one listening to this particular session, and even right now attending, even personally, if I talk about myself as well, I even sometimes have to battle very strongly with an inner demon known as procrastination. And the thing is, if we were to understand the very science behind it, so we'll be better able to assess ourselves, and we'll be able to bring these things into awareness. Now the thing is that there was this test conducted at Stanford University known as the marshmallow test, and the students were basically given the choice that you can either have a marshmallow right now, and they were aged around like 8 years or 7 years. So they were given a choice: either you can have one marshmallow right now, or you can wait for one complete day and have two marshmallows tomorrow. So apparently it was proven that the students who are actually waited an entire day to have two marshmallows proved to be way more successful in the long run. And what? Because they didn't give in to the immediate gratifications. So when you talk about procrastination, what happens is that you're trying to give in to the immediate gratifications. You try to seek, because our mind apparently behaves in two manner. Our mind basically takes decisions based on two broad spectrums. Number one, to gain pleasure, and number two, to avoid pain. So the thing is that you, for example, are procrastinating. Why? Because the couch is so relaxing, and we try to associate so many cues when it comes to, for example, if let's say, for example, you have an assignment due, and then there's another distraction that you have, and that is to watch a movie. So if I ask my student, why did you not complete the assignment, the student will bring up an entire complex queue in front of me. Sir, I had to go to the store, I had to pick my bag, and then I had to open my bag, and then I had to take out my book, and then I had to take out my journal, and then I have to take out my notes, and then I had to study. And then I ask him, okay, fine, why did you find yourself watching the movie and not doing the assignment? Sir, there's no particular work required when you need to watch a movie. Just open your laptop and then you just go onto Netflix and you just click. Do you see the difference? The process has been made so difficult. The cues have been made so difficult when it came to doing the assignment. But when it came to watching a movie, everything was like, it is not a big problem at all. So the thing is, when you talk about time management, one thing that you have to deal with is procrastination. And I'm going to give you the very own examples that I use, the very own techniques that I use, and as to how I conquer procrastination in itself. What you can do is you can use. I read about this in a book known as The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. This is something known as an urgency importance matrix. You'll have a lot of tasks at your hand. So what you do is you make a matrix, and you first try to jot down all the tasks, and you need to do this once you wake up. Just, you don't need to give in to the temptation of checking your feed and checking your social media platforms. Just give 5 to 7 minutes or 10 minutes on making a plan if you can. All right, so write down all the activities. For example, if you like 20 activities assigned for the day. Now do what? You make a matrix, and you sort the tasks based on the urgency and importance. There may be tasks that might be very important but may not be urgent as such. There may be tasks that might be very urgent and may not be important as such. And there may be tasks that might be important and urgent as well. So you try to categorize your task in that particular matrix, and then you focus on the tasks at hand, the tasks that are very important to do and are very urgent to do as well, so that you don't involve yourself into tasks that may be delayed later on. So first things first, it's making sure that you categorize the entire thing in an urgency importance matrix. Number two, I would request Maham if she can display that particular image that I particularly use when it comes to planning the day. Another thing that you can use is to establish a good reward system. Now, what do I mean by that? If, for example, you are trying to, there's something known as neuroconditioning. If you, for example, have a pet, and you ask the pet to sit down. You are trying to train the pet and you ask the pet to sit. And the dog, let's say you have a dog and he or she sits. What you do? What do? You give a treat right now, there and then. So the dog apparently associates the behavior of sitting with getting the treat. This is a positive reinforcement. So each time apparently the dog knows, each time that I sit, I'm going to get something in return. And there's this pattern formed. So what you need to do is you need to, for example, assign some tasks to yourself. But then again, make sure that there's a healthy reward, not a self-destructive reward. There's a healthy reward that is waiting for you in the end. What I do is I try to give rewards such as I'll go for 30 minutes of book reading. I'll go for example, 1 hour with my PlayStation. I'll go, for example, 30 minutes with my music sessions. So apparently, I'll try to make sure that the reward is apparently balancing my tasks as well. Nothing should exceed. So urgency importance matrix, we have rewards. We have an urgency importance matrix as well. Then make sure that you have a public display of accountability. Let other people know in your circle, let other people know in your gathering that you are trying to do this task so that they can ask you and take a follow-up. Is this task complete? How's your progress so far? So you can make sure to have your task assigned in an urgency importance matrix. Give yourself rewards. Make sure they are not self-destructive, all right? And public display of accountability is very, very, very important. It's very necessary to minimize distractions. This is a technique known as Pomodoros. What do I mean by that? For example, if you're, let's say, for example, studying, you give a timer to yourself. For example, you have 30 minutes. For 30 minutes, you'll study in one go as much as you can. And then as soon as the timer ends, 30 minutes end, for example, you're going to give a break of 5 minutes. Now, in that particular break of 5 minutes, you're not going to use your mobile. You're going to do tasks that are apart from using mobile or distractions. And the break will be timed as well. So the moment that you get done with the 5 minutes rest, you do one more Pomodoro of 30 minutes. And then you again take 5 minutes gap. And then you do one more Pomodoro. The length of the Pomodoro session can vary. It can be 30 minutes, can be 50 minutes, it can be 25 minutes. It's up to you. But it's a very good way to get done with short tasks at hand. So these are the different ways through which you can minimize procrastination, because we all know the importance of time management. But then again, we fail to manage time in our lives. We fail to prioritize. Why? Because we are battling with an inner demon, that is procrastination. Try not to give in to immediate gratifications. And to be very honest, a concluding note, to be very honest, even if although time management is very, very important and you need to schedule, but there would be days where you don't feel like doing anything. And there would be days that you would be failing and you would not be getting a perfect result. It's completely okay to have a downtime, because you are a human being. Recharge, reassess, so that you can come out even better. This is all. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sir Bilal. It was really, lovely listening to whatever you have advised at the moment. And I'm really hoping the students are going to take the main points which you have given, because normally we are, as adults, we are taking procrastination as something negative within our students. And you have given a new perspective to that. You have actually guided them how to tackle with procrastination and not to take procrastination as something negative. You have named it as inner demon, and you have talked about immediate gratification and deferred gratification, which is extremely important. And here, when you talk about deferred gratification and immediate gratification, this is where I feel like, being a career advisor, the whole thing of A levels, when we are talking, go for STAT, do such summer things, do voluntary work, internship, your grades should be good as well. So all of that is deferred gratification. And with your permission, I'm going to take up your point of procrastination as well, forward with my students.
Please.
I'm having a session with them. I really like that.
Please. Thank you so much. Thank you.
That was really good. So let's see, we have talked about, and I think so with so many experts with us today, I will try to bring it up that why time management is important. So let us see that what actually is time management. So here a phrase is written that time management is the key to accomplishing any objective. What we have written over here is that you can accomplish anything if you have managed your time properly, right? And we don't have much time, but I'll try to cover it up that, how that is possible. And I'll try to bring up another point which Sir Bilal has said about like downtime, when you have downtime. So will managing your time be helpful when you have those downtimes? Nowadays our students are having those downtimes when 11th August is coming, it's really nearby, and we are thinking about the grades, and they are really anxious about it, that what result we are going to get. So let's look towards it. While we are talking about time management, and all the time we are told that how important it is to manage your time, and how all the successful people manage their time to be successful actually. Let's look towards some of the skills. What do they do actually? What do people who are successful, how do they manage time? So let's have a look towards some of the skills which are required to be successful. The most important thing is prioritizing your time. And I will go back to Sir Bilal, where he has discussed that, he has used two different terms. He has said, important task and urgent task. And it is extremely important to know the difference between the two. So when you are prioritizing your time, that is the main thing where you actually have to manage your time, right? So to start off with, how can you prioritize your time? You are going to make a list, and I will take the first 2 points together. Make a list and establish a due date. Right? And I will link them to the terms important and urgent over here. When you are making a list of all the tasks that you have to do, right, you need to know the difference between which task is really important and which task is actually urgent. If that particular task has make up to your list, it means it is important. You have mentioned 3 tasks for a day, you have mentioned 7 tasks for the day, but all of those tasks are important tasks. Right? While prioritizing your time, you need to look into it, that which task is actually urgent. And when you are able to do that, this is where you actually manage your time effectively, right? And that urgency, it comes with the due date. It comes with the deadlines. It can be for anything. It can be, for your practice session, for a game as well. You are a football player, you are playing cricket, you like to play guitar, you are a really good singer, you act. Talking about your effectiveness over academics, anything related to co-curricular activity. So you need to be sure about it, that when you are prioritizing your time, you should be focusing on this thing, that whichever task has make up to the list, you need to know what is important and what is urgent. And then once you have done that, you need to come towards this thing, the term interdependent, right? If you can understand this thing, that how 2 or 3 different tasks are interdependent, you will be able to save lots of time, because if you feel like doing 2 different task A and task B individually is going to take 20 minutes both, but you feel like a part of these tasks, they are dependent on each other. So maybe you can save 10 minutes from there, and you have saved your 10 minutes from your day, right? Decluster list, take out all the things which actually cause distractions over there, right, which can actually take away from your attention. And then most importantly, don't forget to reassess, right? Reassess your list. Look towards this, that how whatever I have written, is it manageable? Will I be able to do that? It is according to what is need to be done as per requirement or not. Now to do all this, you need now the question arises that how can we manage different tasks, right? And when we talk about task management, it's a very simple formula for success, which we are giving away today to you, right? No matter you are O3, AS, A2 students, or you are working in your organization. If you follow these simple points, you are going to be successful, because this actually, the term which comes over here with task management, time management, is your persistent. And if you are persistent enough in doing things in certain way, you are going to be successful. You are going to attain, you are going to achieve what you are aiming for, right? Different ways of managing your task can be, they're very simple things. If you start doing it right from the very start, one thing at a time, you will not feel a big difference. There is no rocket science involved in it, but persistence is required over here. Make a to-do list. prioritize your schedule according to the deadlines which are required, integrate the relevant tasks which are there, split all necessary tasks into list for each day. What has to be done, and take one day at a time. The most important thing is take one day at a time. For example, if in mathematics you are learning today Pythagoras theorem, you don't have to worry about what grade I'm going to get in my A2s, right? You are concentrate today. If one by one you are going to concentrate on all the topics for that syllable, in the towards the end you are going to be successful in attaining what grade you want to get, right? If we talk about admissions, like, for most of the students over here at the moment, what they look towards as being successful is getting into their dream university, whether it is at local level or whether it is at international level. And to be able to do over there, we are guiding them every day. We are guiding them that what they have to do. You have to go to USA. Are you doing your SATs? Have you registered yourself for them? Have you started preparing for them? Right? So now is the time to do it instead of waiting for it towards March or something. This is managing your time. This is managing your task. You are studying as well. You are going for SAT as well. You know that for profile development, how important it is to have co and extracurricular activities. So you are concentrating on that as well. So all of this together, look towards it, take it one thing at a day, one task, look towards it. What are the tasks that are interdependent? What is more important for me at the moment? What is more urgent over here? And then try to bring it down. Because going back to Sir Bilal, this is actually deferred gratification. What you will do with patience, with persistence now, this is actually going to reward you in the form of helping you getting the acceptance and the scholarship from your dream university or your dream A-levels college. So this is how it works out, right? With that, I'm going to bring up a very, very simple task over here. I just want you to grab a piece of paper and pen. And as we all know that we just wake up, we take half an hour to be fresh and everything. We don't just right away start the day like that. But what I want you to do is you have started your day and go with the flow as you usually do. But take 2 or 3 minutes. What we have discussed about prioritizing our task, what we have discussed about making a list according to important and urgent tasks, I want you to do that for today. Do it for today, at least for today or for a week, and then see if you follow it according to making a list, prioritizing your task, giving due importance to the urgent and important tasks. Will that make any difference to you? How that is going to help you out, right? And I'll leave you over there. And I'm really excited at the moment because I've talked about SAT and things and, co-curricular, extracurricular activities and how that can make a difference in you, how they can make a difference in you and help you in getting towards, your dream university. So I'm really excited to have Mr. Umair Khan over here with us today. First of all, I would like to thank you, Mr. Umair. Before introducing you, I will again say what I have said, that I want to let the students know that Mr. Umair has joined us from Chicago and there's a big time difference, and still he was kind enough, maybe this is the time when he has to procrastinate or he has to rest or do some other activity, but he has taken that time out for all of you. Mr. Umair is the founder and director of ED Programs Pakistan, and he was working as country coordinator for Education USA Pakistan for quite a long time. And we all know that such an important role has been played by this organization in helping our students getting into dream universities. So over to Mr. Umair without any further ado.
Thank you, Ms. Yasmeen. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I'm really happy to be here. I see some familiar faces. I see Sufyan Saab from Beacon House, Hyderabad. I've had the pleasure of traveling with him to the Midwest, to Chicago, where I am currently at the moment. So I know a lot of amazing stuff has been said about time management. And, when Sufyan Saab asked me about this, and I was like, with us Pakistanis, myself included, I always call us professional procrastinators, and I think one key word that, lets us procrastinate at all times is, when we ask them when this work is going to be done, and we say, Inshallah ho jayega. When we use that word, for a person of, of any professional experience would know that this becomes a little doubtful that this work is going to get done on time or not. So, I think what the students you guys have heard about is the academic aspect of, time management. I was listening to Sir Bilal and Miss Maham earlier, and, I wish somebody told me about this when I was in high school. And there was actually some emphasis put in, given to time management, because it's so important. I learned it the hard way. I obviously did not learn it the textbook way. I wish I did. So you guys have an amazing opportunity to learn from this. And the idea, I think where I fit in onto all of this is, how are we putting and using time management in our daily lives, in a profession, in a team setting, and then also, what are the benefits of time management? I mean, obviously, it sounds like a great thing to do. Why doesn't anyone do it? And I think Sir Bilal already said that, it's the word procrastination, and we're all professional procrastinators. I think everybody is, to be honest, all over the world, because when things can be done in the last minute, why spend time planning it and preparing it and everything else? And I understand. I've done O levels from Karachi. I've been a very any student who's listening to me, I've been like you, not the amazing grades one, just an average student. And I just want to say that time management is so important, because the work will get done even if you get done last minute, or if you get it done with planning. What's the change is going to be the quality of work. So initially, when this session started, I believe Ms. Maham was showing you guys about the two very important factors, which I kind of, live my life on, basically. Is the number one is learn to say no. Again, another thing in our culture is we don't say no. We say, unfortunately, but we say a lot, like, we say inshallah, and then we might not pick up the phone, or, we might not give the due commitment that we need. Again, thinking that, eventually we will figure this out. So I think, learning to say no, being very open and honest. I think the other person might get offended or might not like it initially, but eventually, if they really know you cannot do this XYZ task, they would later on appreciate you for your honesty, and let you be, just say, okay, it's fine, learn to say no. Another thing I think when she had mentioned, was about, knowing your strengths. I'm a big believer of that. With time management, with anything in life, you need to know what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses. So if you know that there are 2 3 things you're absolutely amazing at, or you think you're really good at, you need to just focus on that. And the things that you guys are not good at, or you know that this is an area of opportunity, number one, you try to improve it. But number two, I think the most important thing is that you find the right person within your team or around you in your circle to either take up that task which you're not good at, or explain you that task in clarity where you could become better at it. So in terms of your academics, I believe Ms. Yasmin was talking about the SAT and time management. I think that should be the best segue into the academic aspect of things, that students who are in their AS right now or O3, imagine if they start going into and planning and preparing their SAT and everything else now. So by the time when their A2s will come, they might have a couple of multiple opportunities to reappear for the SAT. Now, what we generally do in Pakistan and elsewhere as well in the world is we will wait for that October or September SAT, which is going to be on the last year of A2, that if we miss it, which entire country is trying to give, and then we're going to miss out on the seats, we're going to travel to Lahore or Islamabad, try to give that exam, but again, we're just going to be trying to rush through it, and, it's going to be half cooked. So might as well, spend that time, do the due diligence, you'll have more opportunities, and take this as a lesson for life, that if you prepare for anything, and time management is obviously one part of being prepared, the quality of work will significantly improve. I mean, I've done a lot of things last minute, and I've done a lot of things with planning, and the quality of both of those are going to be, there's going to be a big difference within those. So that's what I would just want to start off with. And then hopefully we get some questions and we can keep the conversation going. So back to Miss Yasmeen, Maham, whoever's coordinating.
Thank you, Mr. Omer. Thank you for your time. I know it's night in Chicago, but even that you managed to join us. I think it's 2:30 there, if I'm
Yes,
not wrong.
it is.
So, sir, once again, thank you, and so sorry to bother you at
No
this
worries.
time. Okay, so the information that you shared and the knowledge that you imparted is very useful for all the weekenites, and I hope it will really help them throughout their life. As we all know, high school students seems to be busy throughout the year because of their academics, and like being a student, their top priority is academics. They all need like assignments, assessments, exams, A star chahiye, and all like the pressure all develops with the time. But life has to got to be enjoyable, and beside academics, there are indeed things our students are good at. Like some of them are good in sports, they are extraordinary in debates, some are passionate about music, some are good in athletes. So all these things require managing time. It's not only about academics, because now university do not need bookworms. They need a person, or they need a student who is all rounded. The term that's used in cricket, but now this term used in academics also, in university admission also, that we need a person, we need a student who is all rounded. So because he fits that, they want a person who is all trained, good in music and everything. So for all these things, we need to manage our time. If we are unable to do, it will be very difficult. So I'll be moving on to a few slides where I'll be talking about some tools about the time management. So Maham, please move on to the slide. You can do it. Yeah. So there's a phrase written, time management tool. Effective time management is essential to your success, and we all agree with this. If we are not going to, no matter we are Pakistani, but we have to organize our time. Okay. So I'll be talking about few good tools that will really help all of us, and especially to the students. These are not the only list. This is not the only list where I'll be talking about three tools. There are a lot more tools available on the internet. You can just need to explore them and use it accordingly. But I have mentioned here a few good tools that will really help you in managing your day or in managing your whole month. Number one is Google Calendar. We all are using this, especially during this pandemic situation, where we have lots of deadlines, lots of events coming up, and I seriously used to forget what's next. So this app is always reminding 10 minutes before that this is now going to be happen. And today that we are meeting, we already manage, or we already set our event with the help of this Google Calendar. We can invite people. We can call Google Meet through this app. So this is the wonderful app. Through this, we can organize our entire month without having any problem. So the next tool is distraction blocking app. I think every student must use this. This is the extension of for Google Chrome, and it's free. As a human, nowadays it's very difficult to survive without mobile phones or tablets. So with this tool, you can restrict yourself. You can like block the distraction website where you intend to use that. Whenever we are free, or we see that, yeah, so let's use mobile phone, we want to like go to Facebook and see the notification. So during examination time, it's better to use this restriction app where this block you, if like you set up your time for 30 minutes, and then it will kick you out as the time approaches. Even you cannot do, or you cannot reverse back. So it's completely like it will not be in your hand then. So I think it's a wonderful app used by everyone now. And then we have the third tool, which is Evernote. Evernote is again a wonderful app. It's a notes taking app where you can take your notes anywhere. You just need to have your mobile phone with internet connectivity. You can synchronize this tool or this app with any of your devices like tablet or mobile phone. You can make your to-do list, like all Yasmeen said. You need to prioritize your tasks. You need to create your to-do list. So this is wonderful app. You can do it. And one of the speaker, like Mr. Blard said, Pomodoro. So that's another good tool. You can search it on internet. Through that, you can manage the project time management. So these are different time managing tools that are easily available and free of cost. Through these, you can set your entire month or entire day without having any problem. And I think we must use it. But what happens if we are not going to manage our time? Because poor time management leads to stress, and we used to see that we are facing headache or these kind of issues. So to avoid this, we must organize our time. We must organize our day or a month. And so to avoid this and to know about stress management, I'll be inviting our last guest speaker today. She is the head of psychological department at University of Karachi. The name is Dr. Qudsiya Tariq. So Dr. Qudsiya, please, now you need to talk about stress and how we can manage it. Thank you so much. Dr. Qudsiya, please turn on your mic. Your mic is off, I guess.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you very much for the invite, and I'm very, excited to speak to the youth right now. Basically, the question is that what is time management, right? And it has been very clearly defined by all the speakers, and I don't think I need to go on the strategies of time management and all that. What I'm going to talk about is basically that what happens if you are not managing your time. Basically, being a psychologist, I feel that yes, time management is very important. It should be, well planned, because it is always said that well planned is half done. So time management is a very, very important thing that you need to do it from the beginning of your semester, right? It's not that usually the time management is done during the exams, and you make a schedule and you start doing it in the last minute. Time management is something which has to be planned from the very beginning. Right. And when we talk about, that if we are not being able to manage what's going to happen, it's going to bring a very, very intense impact on your mental well-being. Now, how will it bring? What has time management to do? It's basically the exams and the results that bring a bad impact on the mental well-being. So, why is that not being able to manage your time is going to put a bad impression on your health? Basically, if we put too much of pressure at the time of our exams, basically we have piled up all our work, we have not scheduled things, so we start thinking that it's too much, it's immense. How am I going to do it? Will I pass? Will the exams be okay? Will I get an A star? Will I get an A? Or I'm aiming for a B. Will I get it? Will I not get it? There are a lot of things that are going to start disturbing you. Now, you are going to have a lot of expectations, and the parents have a lot of expectations. The teachers have a lot of expectations. The institution has a lot of expectations. Now, we try to, come up with the, coming up to the expectations. And now the pressure starts piling up more. And again, we have chosen certain careers from the very beginning of our childhood. We're starting, I want to become a doctor. I want to become an engineer. I want to become a psychologist. I want to become, a civil engineer, and so on and so forth. We have a lot of aims in our mind, and we know that if we have those targets in our mind, so we have to have certain grades. So expectations start rising. I have to reach to the institution, then the choice of institution comes, which again puts up a lot of pressure that, oh my God, I want to enter into that institution. That requires 3 A stars. That requires at least 3 Bs. So a lot of pressure. So what we have to do is that we have to stop the process of procrastination. Now, procrastination is something, because I'm a clinical practitioner as well. So the youth comes to me with during the time of exams, and saying that I'm unable to, remember what I'm doing. I'm actually revising my stuff, but I'm unable to retain. Now, how can you retain? It's humanly impossible to retain when you're overburdening your memory system. So there is an amount of information that can be registered. You are just like a computer. There is a certain number of information that can be registered at a time, and then you have to delete and then enter a new information. That's how the things work. So basically, you're overloading with yourself. You're maybe putting all the subjects, physics, chemistry, mathematics, everything is going on. I have to do it today. I have to finish it today. So rushing through the things is putting a lot of pressure. And when we are unable to do that, that brings, a sense of failure, low self-esteem. And then when you sit for your studies and you try to focus on the things, there is no focus, a lot of confusion, and a lot of questions in the head that it's not registering, it's not registering. A lot of problems start arising at that time. So scheduling your task at the right time is the key. So you have to start it from the very beginning of your semester, not at the last moment of your exams. So one thing that can help you in your exams, because a lot of students are going to give their MCATs, and there is a lot of right now things going on. It's delayed, or it might not be happening. So there are a lot of, so if you have started, my suggestion to the children at this moment is that don't procrastinate. Stop procrastinating. Procrastinating is like a sign that you are feeling low, having a low self-esteem. Try achieving things. It's okay to fail. It's okay to fail, but keep on working. The key is keep on working. It's okay to fail. We are not perfect. That is the thing which I want to communicate, that we should keep on working hard. That should not be like that the professional has said that, oh my god, it should not do, the message should not go like that, or the professional has said that just relax and just chill out and don't do anything. I'm not giving that message. I'm saying that we need to relax and not have too much of expectations with ourselves. We have to set the realistic goals. If we have wasted our time, we know that I cannot do 10 chapters in just a month. So I need to be very clear about that. So if I pressurize myself, if I'm able to retain 5 chapters, I will not be able to do that as well if I pressurize myself. So to do at least 5, so you have to tell yourself that whatever the time I have wasted, it has been gone. So I should not pressurize myself. At least I should try to revise my 5 chapters and do the best. Keep on working is the key. Don't give up is the key. It's not that if I'm not being able to do those 5 chapters or those 10 chapters, I'm a failure. Don't label yourself. Never ever in your life label yourself. Labeling yourself is the worst thing that you can do at any stage of life. I'm addressing the youth. Please do not label yourself. It's okay, to fall down and then rise again. You fall down and you rise again. That is the key. You keep on trying. Try again. There's a poem by Try Again. I think you should read that poem. And that basically gives you a message not to give up, keep on working hard. Time management, again, is something which, is putting a lot of, pressure at the moment, because time is less and expectations are more, and there's a lot to be done in a very short time span. Now here, the thing is that when you are putting too much of expectation on yourself, expectations, parental expectations, your own expectations, and the others' expectations, it's gonna bring a toll on your health, right? So relax and try to do in small breaks. Breaks are also very important, but break doesn't mean that you take a half an hour break. Concentration area will be, you need a little bit of stress to concentrate for at least 1 hour task. So 15 minutes, if you have invested in a task, it takes 15 minutes for you to actually start concentrating on the task. So for at least 1 hour, pick up a task and do it for at least 1 continuous hour. If for 1 continuous hour you have done that task, take a 5 to 10 minutes break, short interval. All right. Interval doesn't mean half an hour interval. All right. So this is how the memory works. So if you are giving 15 minutes break, and 15-minute break can be that, you do something which you enjoy most. You can listen to music, but everything should be timed. 5 to 10 minutes. That's it. You can go out, sit in the garden and come back in 10 minutes. Don't procrastinate in that. Okay, fine, this is my free time and this is what I'm going to do at this moment. Don't do that with yourself, right? 10 minutes and then and in a day you should not invest more than 4 hours. Realistically, that is scientifically proven that you you can do different activities, so your brain gets exhausted. So it's not that you're not being able to recall, it's not being able that you're not working hard, it's basically you're doing it the wrong way. So if you're doing it the wrong way, you're not actually being very productive. So we need to be productive. So invest good 3 to 4 hours each day, and those also with short intervals, so that you can do that. That's how your brain gets reactivated. It's just like you're going, climbing up a hill, and when you're climbing up a hill, you need a lot of energy. Your car needs a lot of fuel for reaching to the hill. So you need to give a break to the car, because the engine will start getting heating up. So 5-10 minutes you give break, and then you go more. So that's how you reach to that level. So I'll just keep my thing short, because that is what the message was, that keep on working hard and keep on struggling in that, but don't have a very unrealistic expectation with your own self. You should always have a realistic expectation. Keep on trying, and if you are going to pressurize yourself under these circumstances, it's not going to help in any ways. It's going to bring a negative impact, in fact, instead of making you more productive. Thank you. I'm open to question and answer. I thought that everybody has done that. So the psychological part should be done by me, because 70% of the students are coming to me for counseling during this time. And because of MCAT and they have very short time and unrealistic goals they have, with themselves. So I thought that I would be talking about this. So I'm open to question and answer. Thank you.
Right. Thank you so much, Ms. Kutsia. And really, I can't thank enough all three of our panelists, Mr. Bilal, because, he has such, now students, here is a demonstration of excellent time management. Sir Bilal has a class as well, exact at 12:30, but he was here, he has managed his time, his to-do list was ready with him, urgent and important tasks were there, he has taken the session with you, and now he is taking his class as well. So I can't thank enough Dr. Kutsia, Mr. Umair, and Sir Bilal for being here and sharing such valuable advice with all of us. Now, I have few questions with me. If you all are ready, we are going to keep them really short as much as we can. Let's start with Dr. Kutsia. The session has just finished. The question is about, you have, some of the students have messaged personally the questions and they want to know that. The question is, you have talked about expectation from, we talk about peer pressure, we talk about expectations from parents, from the societal pressures, right? So the child is asking actually that how to cope up with the stress which is developed, no matter how much you are managing your time, no matter how much you are on dot with everything, but sometimes this time management with all the daunting tasks which you have, that leads towards stress because of the expectation as well. So can you just give a piece of advice on that how to cope up with that?
Thank you, Ms. Yasmeen. First of all, I'll ask the students not to compare themselves with their peers, because the stress basically is initiated by, she got an A, I got a B, I worked hard, she didn't work hard. And the comparison. Every individual has a way of writing, every individual has a way of comprehending things and delivering things. Everything is different. When I say the word individual, individual means unique, and we are all individuals, we are all different, we are all unique in our own sense. So first of all, try to give importance to what you have rather than comparing yourself with others. That will reduce your stress. And then start setting expectations, realistic expectations. Everybody has a different environment at their home, and everybody cannot produce the same way as the other person is performing. Number 2. Number 3 is that start focusing more on how you can make your task or whatever subject you are having difficulty in, to make it more interesting for yourself. It's not necessary that you have to go by the book and all that. So make the task interesting. Basically, when the task is because too much of reading, monotony causes the brain to function in such a way that there's a blockade coming, that stop, it's too much signal coming. So try to relax, because the students these days are not relaxing. They're like, oh my god, the life is going to end if I don't do this. So they need to actually learn that life is not going to end. This pandemic has proved it, Nothing has ended. Everything is going on. So they need to realize that it's a challenge. I need to do it. I need to calm down. My getting, stressed out is going to affect my memory, cause confusion. So I need to actually control my anxiety. So they have to focus on their anxiety. And then they will be able to concentrate more and become more productive. That is what I was also saying in my talk, that this is what they need to do. I hope I answered the question.
Yes, you showed it. Yes, you showed it, Dr. Kusia. Not only the students, I'm going to take up the advice as well, because nowadays, working from home, we are getting all the signals coming up, every time. So it's a good advice for us as well, not only for the students. Next question is from Mr. Umair. And it's about, very much relevant as well. And I'm glad that you make it up today. As Dr. Kusia has said, the life is going on, pandemic is there. But we all know that how pandemic is affecting the academic cycle through, around the globe. So the question over here is, do you have any advice on the daunting deadlines for universities, keeping in mind that how, things are, at times, things are restricted as well. Deadlines are changing for applications, deadlines are changing for SAT, things like these. So they just want your advice on it, that, from international perspective, what of this advice you can give them about?
Okay. So first I would just say, Dr. Kutia, I haven't met you in person before, but I think this advice was so helpful for us as well. I mean, I think the entire world is going through a stressful situation. So this was some valuable advice, guys. I hope you guys take that. In terms of the education experience abroad and international, what's going on, I just want to tell the students, I think I'm going to just, kind of follow from what Dr. Kutia said earlier about stress. I understand it's a stressful situation. It's a lot of uncertainty at the time, not knowing, what's going to happen, who's going to get accepted where. But you need to understand that the universities are going through the same uncertainty as well. So are the people from College Board and everybody else who are figuring out the SAT. A lot of schools in the US have now gone completely SAT optional, even the top, the dream schools as well, which everyone wants to go to, the Ivies. And same thing is happening in the UK. Same thing is happening into other destinations as well. The reason is everyone's trying to figure out what's the right approach. So I would say, this is a good time to maybe, relax for a bit and, put your mind to the right idea and figure out what do you really want to do, and it's okay if you miss this one specific semester coming up in fall because of the uncertainty about studying online or studying hybrid or being in person. So just, I think the way the sphere is going to work is, I think by the end of this year, there's going to be better clarity on what's going on. I think all the universities are very open and appreciative of honest conversations with the students who are planning to attend those schools. So I would highly recommend the students to get in touch with all these universities, whoever you guys want to get into, you guys are planning to apply to. And just, it's okay. For now, it's okay. We're in times which nobody has experienced in our lives ever. And it's the same thing is happening at a university admissions office as well. What is happening at a Beacon House career counseling office, the uncertainty is the same. And so is something happening with us as professionals, as business, owners or anything else, because, we're just kind of figuring it out how the pandemic is going to go through. One last thing I just want to say, which I, talk to our students about, is the thing you guys need to learn from this pandemic is, we need to look at the silver lining to all this, right? The silver lining to all of this pandemic and everything is the slate has been cleared. There's more opportunities available to students now than they were ever before, because the ceilings has been kind of like opened out. Everyone has an opportunity. There's so much available online. So please just think outside the box.
Thank you so much, Mr. Umair. With this, we are going to end this presentation. We are going to end the session. On behalf of my fellow team members, Mohammed Sufyan and Ms. Maham, I would like to thank once again our panelists, Mr. Umair, Dr. Tariq, Dr. Kusya Tariq, and Sir Bilal. As I have told you, he has to rush for his class, but still, thank you so much for being here. And we will like to have you again, to have more in-depth discussions about such topics, because these are the pressing ones which our students are actually facing nowadays, especially because of the pandemic which is coming up, and how the whole globe, each and everything, lives have been shaped. Not only it's about being at your studies or something, each and everything. So on this note, I would like to thank all of you, and all those who have joined us today. Thank you so much for being here, and I'm really hopeful that this effort can bring any change in the way you work, or you have picked up, you will take away something, some of the advices which have been shared over here. Thank you very much, all of you. Take care.